Well, welcome back to Thoughts While Thinking. And we got to remember that these opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. They don't represent anybody else's. But I do appreciate T-SPAN, Texas News Digest, that helping us for the technicals here. They help us put this thing up and put it together. Well, I don't know that I'm rearranging any prejudices. I think maybe I'm just looking at the facts of the matter and staying on track. Well, we may be making some judgments and things, but this ain't my first rodeo. I've been dealing with uh, wind power to get things done since I was about 5 or 6 years old. I do understand a little bit about it, not much, but a whole lot. But I understand enough that I can jump over all the bull crap that's going on about it and get down to a little bit of the facts of the matter. My dad had this wind charger, and he used it to charge these 6-volt batteries. I think he had two of them, and he kept one of them charged on the charger while we was listening to the radio on the other one, and we listened to the radio during prime time, and we enjoyed that radio, those soap operas and stuff on it, and you know sometimes I had to do my homework and I couldn't sit around the radio with the rest of them and listen to it, but I could overhear it coming out of there. And my dad and mother, they just really liked Fibber McGee and Molly. And I could visualize all the goings on, and particularly that old closet when he had opened my closet door, all that stuff had come tumbling down on top of him. And I could just see it. I could see it. In my mind, I saw it. And Amos and Andy, they were two white guys, and they did the same thing. I could just see them. I could see them. I could visualize them. And it's just like, in my mind, I was seeing it just like it was on a movie screen. And then when they come out on TV, I was less impressed with what was going on because my mind had a better picture than what the TV had. My imagination was better than the TV. So anyway, that's a different story. And but anyway, one of those favorite programs that I got to listen to was I Love a Mystery. That was Jack, Doc, and Reggie. And they went to look for more trophies and got into more crap over the thing. And there's always one cliffhanger that you had to listen to the next time to see if they got out of trouble. Well, this wind energy to save the planet just ain't all it's cracked up to be, in my opinion. I'm looking at this stuff and I'm looking at what these wind power turbines and wind farms come across at. And, they got those big blades there 200 feet or less, 150 to 200 feet long. And they're big and they can't be disposed of except in a landfill. And man, it don't take too many of those things to fill up a landfill. And the government stands subsidizing all that electrical power on those wind turbines, and we got to look at all of that. And you don't really want those big old eyesores in your backyard. They're just an eyesore. They're just tearing up the beautiful views of part of West Texas and Arizona and stuff. And you get back to trying to see that little old tractor up there and little dust ball. That's a D9 caterpillar trying to cover these things up. Well, that landfill is just about already full, and all the rest of them. So those turbine propellers blades, they just hard to get rid of. And right now, the average wind farm takes 150 turbines, and each wind turbine needs about 80 gallons of oil as a lubricant. And we're not talking about vegetable oil. We're talking about that high-powered synthetic oil-based crude. 12,000 gallons of it for 150 turbines. And that oil, it needs to be replaced once a year. it's estimated that a little over 3,800 turbines is needed to power a city like the size of New York. Well, that's 304,000 gallons of refined oil every year. Think about that. There, we're not getting rid of that oil, and we're just boggling our minds a little bit about that. And that's one of those wind farms that just, that would be a pretty view there if it wasn't for all those old windmills there. And, those things are hard to take down. It takes a lot of petroleum to tear those things down. That equipment don't run off of electricity that it generated. It runs off of oil that's imported. and and I'm not a bird man and all that much, but it's killing about 500,000 birds a year, and they're the big birds that's on endangered species primarily, ducks and hawks and falcons and eagles and all kinds of migratory birds, and the little birds they get by, but those big birds are not quite that lucky. And those birds, they just get whacked, they fly right into them, they can't see them. And those little birds, they're more agile, I guess, to get around there, but they're just killing those eagles and hawks and stuff. And another problem with these windmills is that their generator and switching equipment is operated at high voltage power. Everything in the windmill is looked up the compact doing process. And so the danger of these are arcing and starting electrical fires. And this is preventing putting the all the electrical equipment in the pressure is filled with sulfur heliax fluoride. And that is going out into the environment, and that's a bad leak. And it's about lifetime span of 3,200 years. That's 22,800 times more effective as greenhouse carbons. So what about all those carbons? We got to check that out too. I'm not asking you to believe me on this. I'm just asking you to check it out. And now then we've calculated every city in the country nearly all consumption of this clean energy. Where does that all come from that they're using? Well, since January 2021, it comes from the enemies in the Mid East. And not to mention the fact that the large equipment is needed to build these wind farms and to run on petroleum, as well as equipment required to install and service these things. So how exactly eco-friendly is it? Well, we take a look. Well, we're looking at our founders and never intended that we believe our government and trust it. Just by the nature of it. Those wind farms are ugly. They just mess up a real pretty view. And the lifespan on those things at the most is 20 years, and so you go to replacing those things every 20 years, and all the oil, fossil fuels and oils and stuff it takes to do that. What kind of mess you think we're going to be in replacing all those windmills, wind powers? Well, compare that to this little old oil well sitting out here in the cornfield. It looks pretty neat compared to what that view is on that wind turbine farm. Well, that one of those windmill replaces can produce as much power or more than about 100 of those wind turbines. Well, that is may be a little bit debatable, but it's pretty close. And that ain't even looking at the fact that all the side benefits we get out of petroleum. Lands, we get plastic and we get all kinds of, all of our space stuff comes from that petroleum and research out of that. So what are we going to do with that without all that stuff? And our whole house is set and runs and operated about based on that fossil fuel stuff, derivative benefits, and these solar farms, they use petroleum for lubricants, and they don't put nothing back into the economy. They just take it out. They use it. They're a consumer. And just like those windmills, they're a consumer. They use it, and it takes oil to lubricate those things. And so we're told about how wonderful that wind power is, and how it's so clean and generates all this energy. Well, uh, the maintenance on those things and those solar panels and stuff, they take petroleum, and they have those replacement parts, and it takes petroleum to build those parts and stuff, because this government subsidized wind farms, they just can't produce it enough to make it work, even with all the subsidies. And they where are they getting all of the land to do to bring it out to be enough to do anything? It's only about 4 to 10% or less of our electrical power grid, and so then uh, keep the world green movement. We got to rethink about it. I hope I gave you something to think about, and I hope you go back and check some of my facts on that. And your only rights that you have are the ones that you're willing to fight for. And we're just uh, going to say adios, amigos, here, and we will see you on the flip side.